hey, 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 hey. Oh.
Because if she can get her head under here, she could tear all this down. Just tap her with the end of the lead rope.
I feel like it's hitting her butt.
It is, so you are touching her. Yeah, we can see she's a little bit nervous. You have to put enough pressure out there to create the effect of relief in here. I have never put as much pressure on a horse as what another horse would do. So we just got here and Sarah called us and said, have some trouble with one of the horses staying in a stall. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about why you asked me to come on and give you a hand here today?
Well, she is a rescue that I've had since about June.
Okay.
And we built the back side of the barn so we'd have enough room for all three of them. But I find the two geldings in this front barn, and they come in and out of the paddock all night long, but they're blocked in there, work great.
Mm-hmm.
But she insists on being on the other side, but has to be able to come over. She can see them through the barn. But I swear,
Great timing.
and she can see them through the barn, through the hay, but
Okay.
that doesn't matter. And she
So
looks.
So what's the problem? You're trying to put her by herself?
I'm just trying to put her in there just because the ceiling in this side is so short.
Okay. The other two would be.
Are fine in here,
So this will be like, and you're like locking them in,
and I'm locking them in at
like
night.
for like nighttime.
At nighttime,
okay.
I do.
And this, but then when you lock her in, she doesn't want to stay in.
No. Well, when she's in the stall by herself, she looks like she's about to jump over the 2x4s to get into the hay area and get to the boys.
So she's worked up and she's
Yes.
rolling around and thinking about
And I
jumping
give her
out.
a minute, and then I quit go and open the door because she has jumped over the stall. Over the trough. So we had to put that piece of wood there.
Okay. Yep.
And then she hurts herself.
So the main thing is we want her to get a little more self-confidence to be able to be in that pen by herself.
Yeah.
We'll take her over there,
Okay.
and put her in there, and let's see how we go.
My plan is right now just to take her in there. Oh, back up. Back up. Good boy, good girl. Just hope. Hey, 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 hey. Just relax.
So she's already getting a little
Something
anxious
different,
about
yeah.
going in there.
But, and she goes in and eats. But normally when I bring her in, she wouldn't ever halter on or anything. She'd just be coming in from her field, she'd start eating. And while she was eating, I would just close up the door. So do you want me to try to do it? But you'd want to be inside to see what
You're
she's
saying
like.
she tries to jump out.
She tries to jump. And I don't know if she would jump. I didn't take the chance. Back up,
Yeah.
back up.
Oh.
Good girl.
Hey, would you guys like to see more detailed training videos that show you step-by-step how to train your horse and work through common issues? We have a huge video library on my Patreon page, as well as dropping new videos every week. You can also send me a message on there and get questions answered about your horse. You can even send videos for me to coach. So it's a really great value at just $10 a month. Next January, it's going to go up to $20 a month for all that. So if you want to get in now for $10, make sure you get signed up, and I'll look forward to seeing you on there.
So yeah, I was just worried because she was able to jump over the trough so easy. She's jumped over a side of the fence there, which cut up her legs this last time. I'm thinking that's nothing for her to jump over. My husband put that one up, but I want him to put another one up on the other side, and even one in the middle, like above my head, so that I can still come in and out.
I would add another one here
As well?
and maybe
Okay.
even here, because if she can get her head under here, I bet she could tear all this down. So I'll hold her.
I'm gonna get rid of that net too.
I might work with her a little bit, and then I'll have you put the other two away.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take that out. Actually, it wouldn't be bad to have some hay in here, something that she could munch on. Okay, so Sarah's getting organized here. And in a perfect world, so the main outcome that we need is for the horse to find relief in the pen and be comfortable there, so that if there's a storm comes or bad weather, we can tuck her away in her stall here. Now, there's a couple of situations here. The horse is going to think that direction towards the other two. Now, because of the setup over there, I can't bring her that way and make it uncomfortable and then release her back here. I have to come out this direction. That's not ideal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Sarah stand on that side outside the fence with the flag. And if the horse thinks over, Sarah, I'm going to have you work the flag kind of in her face, not touch. You probably don't even need to touch her, but just noisy enough that she yields away, like ideally looks away. Okay. And then I'll come back in, grab her again, put her to work a little bit, and then release her in here. So the premise is hot lava out here, relief in here. Okay. So we're going to start that process. And I don't know if you want to look in here or come in and out the door, however you want to do it, so you can see what I'm doing. But because you might need to set this up a couple of days in a row to get this fully settled. And doing this at feeding time, when you can release her in there with feed, it would be just fine. So all I'm going to do you know, when we talk about making it uncomfortable or hot lava somewhere else, it's not as much about the work. It's about me being noisy and putting pressure on her over here. That's what it's about. You know, so you have to bring your life up and put a little pressure on here. And then is this door free to swing shut?
Yes.
Okay.
It does have a little bit of lock because gravity will
latch
close
there.
it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring her in now. And then all we're gonna do is come in here and we're gonna settle. We'll see if she wants, see, she's already kind of thinking she wants out. So I'm gonna let her go out. And now we're gonna run into a little pressure here. So it doesn't have to take very long. It doesn't have to be a lot. And then we're gonna come right back in. But you can already see by her response, she doesn't think very highly of coming in here yet. So we're not gonna take her offline until she gets a little bit more willing. But again, if she wants, ooh, she made a good choice there.
Yeah.
But if she wants to head out, she can head out. There's a lick and chew. So there she found relief in here. Oh, look at you. You got some hay over here you could eat too if you wanted. Now, those of you watching this video, don't get too excited about the hay part, because it's more about, you know, you can make something positive, but at the end of the day, if you want to build depth of understanding, you have to have a horse that sees both sides of the equation. There's pressure out here, which makes it sweeter in here. If all we relied on was feeding her in here and making it sweet, that may not be enough. Ah, she didn't go as far to the door that time. Can you see how there's a little bit of progress already? And I think what I'll start to do now is play with closing this.
Oh.
Did she step on the rope there?
She just racked her head.
Oh, she just spooked? I was like, what happened there? Yeah, she's a little flighty, isn't she?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a light on the other end as well, so she can see the boys better, but she should be able to see them.
So you can see when that door starts to shut, she starts thinking about leaving town.
Yeah.
And so you can see we about the problem before we even
I'm just gonna stay
take
here.
her offline. Yep. I'll probably have you step out.
Okay. Each time. Okay.
Yeah. So that was a much better response that time to closing this. So we're kind of okay here. But she's not as settled right now. She's kind of whipping her head around, being a little bit nervous. She'd kind of like to come out. So if I open this door, I bet she's going to kind of want to think. And we're going to have to up the ante out here, make it just a little bit less fun, because she's really blowing out there. Like, she's very committed. Now, I could restrain her from coming out, but that wouldn't fix anything. There, she made a good choice. But I can definitely see where your problem is. Yeah, she was. There we go.
Good girl.
Now, I would like to address her head issue of whipping her head around.
Yeah.
Because that tells me, just based on how she's doing that that's an area that we need to be moving, not just her hindquarters. Okay, we can see she's a little bit nervous. But you're definitely going to have to work on her yielding her head a bit. She's so pushy and flinging that around everywhere that you're gonna have to be careful to not get like whacked by her head moving around. Oh, Oh, that's a little better deal. See, now I'm going to ask her to come out with me. And again, we have to make it uncomfortable out here. And I have to be a little bit bigger out here because of how much she doesn't want to be in there, okay, in order to be effective with it. Now, she bops her head around a lot in there. And so I'm gonna work on getting a little bit of control here over her head. Good. Okay. Come on back in.
Well, at least she's not trying to jump over.
What?
At least she's not trying to jump over.
No. Well, and what's interesting, I actually like the fact that she's thinking out that door right now. She's not thinking about over there as much. But she's not settled in here yet. And so we're gonna keep working at this until we get her settled. But you're probably gonna have to do this again tomorrow. And you can see even by her defecating there that she's nervous in here, you know. And this is where she's supposed to relax and get her feed.
Be safe.
Oh, you don't want to blow out of there, huh? I mean, we had to be careful because I was like at the door halfway open and she was ready to take off out of there. See, you're getting more hesitant coming out here because we're making it pressure out here. Again, you're not out there for a long time, just putting a little bit of pressure, make it uncomfortable so that it makes this look more like relief. Now, I can't come over here every day and do this, but if I could, what I would do is I would today leave her online. I would just do this online. So my recommendation for you is to just do this with the halter and lead rope on her for a few days. Now I am going to start experimenting here.
Like just at night when I'm putting her to when I'm putting her in for the night?
Whatever you're doing currently, I would keep doing that and not just try to leave her in here until you've gone through the pattern that I'm going to kind of lay out for you here. Okay. So again, right now I unclipped her. So she's kind of, for all intents and purposes, she's loose. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying though is I would like to stay at this stage longer. Yep. I'm kind of having to move forward here so I can show you all phases of this progression of the pattern that we're trying to create here. Now be ready with your stick over there. Okay. I'm just going to watch from outside here. Good job.
I didn't know you had so much poop in you.
So I'm just kind of observing her here. Again, and I'm recommending to Sarah that she sticks with the program that I was doing online several days before going to this. Okay, and she got more nervous with me leaving. Oh, you don't want to come out. She is good. She is clever though. She is figuring this out as we go here. Can you see that?
Yes. Yep. Yes.
I'm going to do that with her one more time, and then I'm going to have you come and do what I'm doing here. We'll switch positions.
Okay.
But you got to put a little bit of pressure on her out here. I can't just bring her out here and walk her around because she is bothered about being in here, and so I have to make this look like relief. So you're going to come in and you're going to immediately close this door, and then you're just going to hang out here with her, and we're just helping her get settled. And then after you do this a few times, then we'll start to turn her loose more and more. And if you were by yourself, what you would probably have to do next is you would unclip, and again, when you're in the training stage, you're just going to unclip the lead rope. Yep. It takes too long to rehalter her and that sort of thing.
Yep.
So you're just going to unclip that, and then you can come step out over here and help her get comfortable this way.
Okay.
So this would be the next progression, and you keep building.
Okay.
You eventually get where you come and you stand, you know, further over here. And again, hopefully you have those boards up at that point where you can trust her a little bit more not to jump out. Go ahead and put pressure there. Good.
So even if it's just her nose.
Yeah. See, because you're just saying it's uncomfortable here. Your relief is in that pen right there.
Inside it. Yeah.
Yep. Luckily, I get the impression from her that she's pretty reasonable. She definitely didn't want to be in there, but she's thinking through this process. She's not totally kind of losing it. And so I feel really optimistic. Pressure. Keep pressuring. Pressure. Do you see how she got in a worried mindset there, and the whinny kind of gave it away? Is this better than last time you tried?
Oh, yeah.
See, now that was a little softer.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to come back in here, and you'll come in with me. And this time I'm going to have you take her outside. Go ahead and leave your tool in here.
Okay.
So you're going to take her now.
Okay.
Come stand over on this side, and let her come all the way out. Give her room. Now drive the hindquarters, just like you saw me do. Pressure. Just the end of the lead rope, and it doesn't have to be fast, but just tap her with the end of the lead rope. Touch her with it. I like to do more of an overhand swing.
And you actually
there
touch
you
her
go.
with it?
Yep, touch her with it. Good.
I
now,
never
now
like
lead
that.
her back into the stall.
I've never hit her.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
But
hitting her butt.
It is. So you are touching her. But it's to put enough pressure on again to make it relief in here. I'm gonna come in here with you. I'm gonna kind of explain. Try not to hold her too much. Try to just let her settle. Because again, she was so worried about being in here and trying to blow out of here so much when this door started closing that you have to put enough pressure out there to create the effect of relief in here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Let's give it a number. And this is really important for you to understand, this concept that I'm about to share. So most people don't want to be firm with the horses, right? And I have to explain this to people. There's so many different ways to explain it, and I'm not going to get into all the details. But if you haven't already, go back and watch the video of how much pressure is too much pressure. We have that video. It's an audio talk that we did explaining the more depth of what I'm about to share with you. Let's say a scale of pressure. 0 is no pressure. 10 is like, oh my gosh, you just there's no more pressure that you could possibly put on a horse, okay? That's 10. She felt pressure by being in here by herself. That's why she wanted to jump out. So let's give that a number. And what it was today. Because I would say today was probably less than when she thought about jumping out.
Yes. I'd say it was like a 6.
Today?
Yeah.
Okay. So then,
Out
if
there,
we
you got to
want,
make it a 9.
you got to make it a
up
6.1 at least.
Oh, right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
In order to make this look better.
Right.
So in order to make that look like hot lava and this look like relief, we have to put more pressure on out there. Which is why I needed you to actually tap her and put a little bit of pressure on, more than just swinging it at her in order to create this effect. And you can see she's getting more and more relaxed. You can see by how much she went to the bathroom in here that she was very nervous, but she's getting more and more settled. Like now she's rubbing.
Yeah.
She probably could eat now.
Yeah.
This sort of thing. So this was a big deal to help her get more settled.
And you were pressuring her at like a 9 though out there at first because you were realizing how upset she was getting.
The amount of pressure I was putting on there, I would probably give it a 6.5, 7.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Yeah, there could be
Okay.
more. It could be more. Okay. And I'm just being honest. And a lot of one of the things that I make. Imagine if every horse could get trained with patience, time, and cookies.
Right.
Like there would be no need. There would be, I'd be out of work. I wouldn't have a job because there's plenty of people that could have time, patience, cookies, and you could get a horse settled. But the psychology of the way horses work, and if you just watch how they interact with each other and how much pressure they put on each other. I have never put as much pressure on a horse as what another horse would do.
Okay.
Never gone there. Have you seen horses bite?
Well, I've
and
been
kick?
watching as I've had all 3 of them here now.
I
Yeah.
mean, they can be really vicious with each other over a pile of hay.
Right.
And so us putting a little pressure on it seems like tapping her with that seems like a lot to you. That's like another horse just doing a little nip.
Okay.
I mean, it's not.
Because I
much
heard
at
it
all
once
to
out there,
her.
and I was going to ask you, did you actually hit her? But
Yeah, I tapped her.
I know you know
firmly.
what you're doing. Yes.
Yeah, I did. I tapped her firmly out there because she was trying to blow through the door, and at that moment she was like a 7 or an 8 in here, and so I went to a 7 or an 8 out there, and that was really the one that was the most effective.
Yeah.
Your horses can learn through repetition, but they also need, in order to be effective with a horse, you have to be effective. Pressure causes the relief to be effective.
Yeah, that makes sense. That
Okay.
makes sense.
And again, I wish, in some ways, I wish this wasn't true because I don't want to put pressure on them either. I'd rather just come and pet them. But the truth is, horses would be so trainable if that's all it took, and it takes a little bit more than that, you know. And this is where there's times where I see how troubled a horse is about something, and I might go, this isn't worth it to try to work through that. Like we have to find a workaround. We can't fix this, you know. And so I use my experience of training thousands of horses to determine what level is fair to that horse, and you know, given the horse's age and given how important it is to do whatever we're doing and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of thought and method that goes into understanding when is it okay to put pressure on a horse and being fair about that. But I am very convinced she is more settled and more comfortable right now than at any point when I've been here.
And even when I unhooked her and started walking
the number one gift we can give horses is helping them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And so by putting pressure on her out there, we've allowed this horse to feel more comfortable in here. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what we're here to do, is help her get comfortable in here. You can see her taking a breath, yawning. She's not afraid of us. You know, it's like, again, here's a little proof. If I walk over here, you know, is she super afraid of me moving? Is she jumpy? Is she spooking? You know?
No.
And no, it's because I did it in a way that she understood it.
Yeah.
So what one of the most important things is helping horses understand pressure. Horses are usually troubled not because of pressure, they're troubled when they don't understand it. She didn't understand the shelter with the door being closed. That felt like pressure to her. She didn't have a good reason to be bothered. You can see how much she's letting down in here now. So let's go ahead and unclip her here and just see. Let's go ahead and go full send. Let's see what we got here, because she's really settled right now with all the yawning. She's having a big dopamine release right now, coming off of a little bit of cortisol and adrenaline. Let's just see how she does. I don't see her jumping out. And the other horses are whinnying to her. So is this a different deal than what you had before?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And again, I get why people don't want to put pressure on their horses and touch them and be effective with the tools. But the little bit of tapping that we did out there, to me, definitely was justified compared to the amount of relief that this horse is getting in here.
Well, she'll be warmer all winter.
Yeah, she'll be more comfortable. It's like, and it was just that she didn't understand.
Yeah.
That's what it was, you know. It wasn't that this shelter was bad. It was that she didn't understand that she could be comfortable and settled in here.
Yes. So tonight, in the next few days, I'll start, like through the weekend, I'll do what we were doing. I'll keep her on the halter and lead rope, and I'll just bring her in.
It's been taught. It's taught to her. You can see how settled she is now. So the lesson has been learned.
Yep.
Now you need to do a few more repetitions of it, so that if a week or two goes by that she's not really in here, it's good weather, and then one day you're like, oh, it's storm's coming, we got to put you in here, and she doesn't understand that, she'll be okay with it because of the prep work that we did. And that's the other one of my big things is trying to do this when things are going well. So the best time to practice this is when you don't have to lock her in right now. You know.
And tonight, though, because it's going to be, I think it's supposed to be like 29 or something tonight. Maybe it's not supposed to be that cold, but in the next few days it's supposed to be that cold.
Yeah.
I'll just keep practicing it, but not leave her in here with the door closed yet.
Until you are getting this consistently, or even right away, where she can. And a good way to tell that would be, can she come in here and start eating right away?
Right.
So when you're doing this, I would definitely have her food in here and let her eat.
Yeah.
But when you're practicing, she may be better about not trying to bolt out of there right away, and so you can go ahead and take her out of there. And then again, when she gets this settled, you can start off by unclipping the snap. You can see the natural progression, and all the way to taking the halter off.
Because I actually fluff up her hay, because otherwise she grabs the leaf and drags it outside, and it's like, well, we're wasting it.
Yeah, she's telling. I mean, it's very. I hope this video comes through to you guys watching how obvious it was that she didn't want to be in here. It was pretty clear, and we've helped her get a lot more settled. And yes, we did put some pressure on her out there.
Amazing that little bit of meanness, but it wasn't mean. It was you being the head horse.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
saying, you have to do this.
If that's mean, then you got to look at how any natural behavior to a horse ends up being mean, because that's how horses communicate with each other. It's not mean. We think of it like that, but that's not how they think about it. You know, have you ever seen, you guys watching, if you've ever, and some of you watching may not own horses, but two horses will go at it, double barreling each other, kicking and kicking and kicking, and then go stand right next to each other, eating a hay pile, grooming each other. Like, they don't see that. They actually feel more comfortable through that leadership. You know, you could say that if you see a parent disciplining a child, oh, they're mean. No.
Right.
They love them, and they're giving them boundaries and
Right.
leadership so that they can have confidence to know what's right and what's not appropriate behavior. And, you know, this is getting into philosophical, and some people are going to disagree with me, and that's okay. But you guys can determine the results that you're looking for yourself.
She was pinning her ears back every once in a while, or she'd lift a back leg when I'd go to feed her. And I'd put her food down, but then I'd set her mash down. And so I started, from one of your videos, I thought it was one of yours, I started keeping her away from the food. Just for
Perfect.
like 2 minutes.
Excellent.
And then she doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
well,
she was
I
getting a little
feel
bit
like I was-
dominant. Yeah. So she was anxious because she was running the show a little bit.
This is wonderful. Yeah, I feel good. I know just what to do now.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yep, really, really cool.
So tell us
You know
kind of
what you're doing.
what are your takeaways from this?
Just to keep practicing, having her halter on, her lead rope, bringing her outside, seeing how she is, bringing her in, have food here for her. And as soon as she starts getting wound up a little bit, take her outside.
Yeah. And one of the things I would
Get more
really like
pressure
to
on her.
compliment you on is the first time that I let you go do that, but the first time you tried it yourself, you did it. You put enough pressure on her that we've gotten this result. This was after you did this. And so you were effective right away with what I was showing you. Some people have a really hard time bringing their life up and meaning what they're saying. And you did it right away. So it's really good.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
Because I feel like with the three of them, I am starting at ground zero, and I'm just learning from watching you guys.
Yeah. Awesome.
So thank
And
you very much.
do you feel like you have a better understanding of how to make this shelter relief
Yes.
compared to outside?
Yes.
All right. Good deal. Well, thanks for calling us and having us come out. Keep practicing, and I think you'll have a horse that'll be very happy and content in her shelter.
I will, thank you.